Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Germany for the MXGP of Germany here at the Talkassel circuit at Teuschenthal. It's round 6 of the European 250 Championship, EMX 250. And the man of the moment seems to be Rowan van der Moosdijk. He has won the last 2 rounds in Russia and in Latvia. But out of the last 3 rounds, he's dropped just 2 races. He's picked up 4 wins out of the last 6, and he's got the gap down to Rubini and Ferrato, who arrive here tied on points to 7. So who will it be that takes the championship lead this weekend? Of course, race 2 coming up tomorrow, but here we are Saturday. We're live from the circuit with me, Paul Malin, and welcome to our MXGP TV broadcast. If you're joining us for the first time today, we did have a 125 race earlier on in the day. Temperature has been hovering mid to late 20s all day long, but as you can see from the flags, we do have quite a significant breeze around most parts of the racetrack here. Corners heavily ripped, so there's a few ruts along the way. And the track crew here at MSC Teuschenthal done a fantastic job of getting it in tip-top condition, and we're ready to go with our second race of the afternoon here with EMX 250 Race 1. The race will go in about 3 minutes' time. But we're a couple hours or so from Berlin. We've got Halle just up the road, about 15-20 minutes away. Leipzig, about 30k away. But the racetrack here itself, just on the fringes of the town itself of Teuschenthal. But Ferrato and Rubini arrive here tied on points. But it's Ferrato who has the championship leader's red plate because he has more wins than Rubini. Ferrato has 4 wins. Rubini has just the 2 wins. A few moments ago, they went out on track for their sighting lap ahead of EMX 250 Race 1. We'll show you how the guys line up for the start as well, as always with Europeans when we have the 2 groups. The winner from the fastest group will go to the line first, and then the quickest from Group 2 then will go second, and they alternate between groups. So in Group 1 this morning, Rowan van der Moosdijk was fastest with a 1:49.0 for FNH Racing Kawasaki. Rubini for Honda Red Motor Asamoto was fastest in his group, 49.2. So 2/10 slower than the Dutch rider. So van der Moosdijk will go to the line first ahead of Rubini, Ferrato, Jeremy Sido, Nick Lapucci, René Hoffer, Giuseppe Tropepi, Josh Gilbert. So he put in a fantastic time. Josh Gilbert 4th in Group 2. Bastian Bodam and Isaac Gifting, Jan Kudranski, Thibaut Beneston and Rikal Zinger, and the rest of the guys there, as you can see. Rivo Dankers, Andrea Adamo. And then Jimmy Clochet, Hakan Fredriksson, Samea Ubak, Tommaso Israel Romano. But one rider who didn't make the cut, Caleb Grothus for SDM Corsa Yamaha. He was in 7th actually, but on the final lap, he crashed at the end of pit lane on the new little ski jump down. Had a problem with the bike, got it back to pit lane, but unfortunately he entered through the exit, so they disqualified him. Ferrato and Rubini doesn't get much closer than that in a head-to-head, does it? 201 points each, tied for the lead in the championship. Rubini on the right will be looking to try and get that back, but they both have to deal with a very informed number 39, Rowan van der Moosdijk. Starters will be over on the right-hand side as we look down the gate. The left where they line up, and the main protagonists are going to be right here. There is the 39 of Rowan van der Moosdijk. I think he's in gate 2 for FNH Racing Team. 7-11, René Hoffer. Hoffer now 4th in the championship. A little bit of work to do to catch the top 3 guys up, as the Austrian. But there you can see over on the far side, Rubini is in gate 1. And then Rowan van der Moosdijk in gate 2. The Fly Racing 15-second board then up for EMX 250 Race 1, 25 minutes plus 2. The MXGP guys have just come in from time training, and they're immediately in the skybox looking down on the gate. But who will it be that grabs the whole shot here? EMX 250 Race 1. He held them for a long time. Very tight. 3 abreast as they come out of the turn. Rubini in second, and van der Moosdijk alongside him on the Kawasaki. But it was the 8:10 of Jan Grudzinski. Riders down here just below our camera position. 3-4 guys. Is that Trapepi? I think it is, a 2:23. But Mostek, Van der Mostek already in a lead, nicely picking his front wheel up just to drop it down to the side of that crest. There you see Rubini right there in second position. And then behind him, the white helmet of Jeremy Sido. So the Diga Procross Husqvarna rider sits in third. And then we have Ferrato, Lapucci, Grudzinski, Gilbert, Beniston, Gifting, and Petroshin. Raivo Danker's 11, Andrea Adamo is 12. As Ferrato moves into third place. So the top two in the championship, the top three in the championship, first, second, and third. It's the championship leader who is in third place. The guy he's tied on points with is ahead of him on the Honda. And the guy who's 7 points behind the pair of them is leading the way on his F&H Kawasaki. Sidu, there's the 211, Nick Lapucci for Steele's Dr. Jack, KTM. Beniston over on the right-hand side here on the Yamaha. Number 98 with the red numbers on his back. Slick on the face of that takeoff. Deep ruts, normal at this racetrack here, the Talkessel circuit here at Teufelstal. 2 or 3 little waves there. One little step up onto the plateau if you need it. Worked okay for Ferrato, but Rubini, I'm not saying he will be better. Well, I would say he was. Is he better to let Ferrato by or try to keep him back and put himself under pressure? Who knows? But get this first lap out of the way. He might just grow into the track, if you like, and might be able to find his mojo. But making it look easy at the front is the 39 of Rowan van der Mostek. He still leads the way as they cut back across the start straight in towards the penultimate corner. So your top three, Van der Mostek, Rubini, Ferrato here, Maddie Racing Husqvarna, 303. Jeremy Sido just behind him in fourth place. Lapucci is 5. 6 now is Beniston. 7 is Gilbert. 8 is Isaac Gifting. 9 is Grudzinski. And 10 is Timo Petroshin. Fastest lap for Van der Mostek, 1:55.6. He's already 2.6 seconds clear ahead of Rubini and Ferrato. Here's Nick Lapucci. Steele's Dr. Jack, KTM. He's in the fluorescent colours. Jeremy Sido just ahead of him on his Diga Procross Husqvarna in third. This is the championship battle here, and actually, if when you think of the championship itself, 7 points between these two as at the top of the championship table, tied on first. And 7 behind them is Rowan van der Mostek on the Kawasaki, just ahead of them. Rubini would lead the championship on 2:23. Ferrato had dropped to 2:21. And 2:19 for Rowan van der Mostek. So all of a sudden, it would be very, very close indeed. Stefan Rubini back into turn 1. As Rowan van der Mostek starting to pull even further clear. He was 2.6 seconds clear of Rubini last time around. A bit of a bobble and a fumble there for the 303 of Alberto Ferrato. He's got some serious work to make up then on the Frenchman. Watch this here. He just kind of got into the rut, tripped himself up a little bit, ran in too hot. Then he's obviously quite a tall fella anyway, but still there in third though. Might do him a bit of a favour actually. Just drop back, get on the gas, catch Rubini, and then try and deal with him in one foul swoop if you like. But Rubini, as we've seen, not an easy rider to overtake. The gap 2.9 seconds. Van der Mostek still the fastest rider on track, a 1:54.9 this time around. Jeremy Sido goes tight to the inside as he tries to keep the Italian at bay. Nick Lapucci here in 5th place. Beniston now up in the 6th for MJC Yamaha. Gilbert's Build-Base Honda is now 7th. Raivo Dankers for the Hutton Metals Yamaha is in 8th place. Then just behind them in 9th is the number 80 of Andrea Adamo for Yamaha SM Action MC Migliori. And then Hoffer for KTM, for Kinney, KTM Junior. Well, just KTM Junior now, isn't he? Krzyzewski has just been passed by Isaac Gifting. So Gifting, the Swede, now up into 11th place. Israel Romano is 13. Rick Elsinger is 14. Yuri Quarti is losing positions. He was in 15th, but it looks like Edberg has gone through to 15th. But we'll wait that one out until they hit the line this time around. Sido doing his best to keep Lapucci at bay as Ferrato gets himself back onto the rear wheel of Ravini, closing that gap down again. Nicely done there. So 18.5 minutes plus 2 laps. EMX 250 race 1. Dropping downhill, another fastest lap of the race for Roman Mostek, a 1:54.7, but then that's been eclipsed by Ferrato, a 54.3. The rider between them, Ravini here, was a 55.6, so 3.9 seconds to the leader, but it's Ferrato, who looks like he's a man in a hurry now, and he's a man on a move. Looked like Jimmy Clochet off the side of the road there. The Bud Racing Kawasaki rider. So not good for the Frenchman. Look how deep those ruts are. Obviously, we've got cameras in elevated positions, but you put them down at ground level, you walk around there, they are knee deep. They're Nadgery as well. Riders getting on the gas. Little square edge bumps sitting inside those ruts as well. And on that particular jump in question, they're pretty shiny on the face of the jump on the exit of the turn. See how hard the ground is underneath in some places. Roman Mostek was 4 seconds clear. There he is, just disappearing over the top of the monster hill. Well, these two getting slightly closer. Let's have a look. Maybe not much in it, a couple of tenths here and there. It was 3.9. Here is your race leader, F&H Racing Team. Maybe coming down ever so slightly. Who's saying not much, but Ravini has obviously got himself warmed up. He knows Ferrato is starting to close in on him again. And Roman Mostek over the line now for the 4th time and a lap time of 1:54.7. Ravini gets the gap down to 3 seconds, a 1:53.8, fastest lap of the race for the 118 on the Honda Red Motor Asamoto machine. So there he is, just disappearing out of shot. Here's Ferrato. He was a 54.1, so he also gained 6 tenths on Roman Mostek, but he's still 4.5 seconds off the lead. So we've got 3 guys in this championship fight all of a sudden. And they're all in the first 3 positions in this first EMX 250 race. But it's Roman Mostek, 3rd in the championship, who leads the way. Just a little bit of a kick there from Albi. On the gas out of that turn, roll it off just to get up on the polished up face. Sido goes to the inside. Lapici's trying to run it down the inside here into this next left-hander, but get the door shut in his face there by the German. So the Diga Pro Cross Husqvarna versus the Steele's Dr. Jack KTM. Good to see Lapucci up there, actually. Been a while, 17th in the championship. Got a 2nd in the 2nd race in France, but he's had too many inconsistent results, actually, has the Italian here in the fluorescent sleeves. Ferrato back onto the rear wheel of Ravini then. looking for different options. 5 laps complete. Aaron van der Moosdijk, a 55.1, a 54.6 for Rubini, 54.4. 3.7 now the gap between the top 3. There was Thibaut Beneston, Yamaha MJC Europe, picking his front wheel up nicely over those braking bumps at the end of pit straight there. He is still in 6th place, only a couple adrift. Well, it was about 2 seconds, but there's the gap between him and Lapucci, just ahead of him in 5th. Josh Gilbert, what, 6 seconds behind? Just sets his fastest lap of the race, a 57.1. So the Bill-based Honda rider from the southwest of England, getting more and more used to EMX 250 competition with every race that passes, but all of a sudden we're looking at a 3-way battle here for 4th place. Sido, Lapucci and Beneston just arriving on the scene now in the background. Andrea Adamo is in 8th, Raivo Danker's 9, and René Hoffer is 10. Slight bobble there from Sido. Again, quick to get across the track to close the line down from Lapucci. Josiah Natski just outside of the points in 21st place. So Natski, right in the KMP Honda. Based over here, we've got rider down in the background there. Doesn't look like anything too insignificant, but this is a battle for 4th place. Sido and Lapucci. Rubini, for now, has broken free from Ferrato, but not by much. Lap 6 in the books for Aaron van der Moosdijk. He sets his fastest lap of the race, a 54.5. Gap is 2.4 now between 1st and 2nd, because another 2/10 pulled back by Rubini. Ferrato, 54.7, the slower of the 3 riders, but he's still onto the rear wheel of Rubini. Deep sand through there. You see how long the ruts are as well. Swing arm deep.
Rubini, der hat eine 1:53,878.
Aaron van der Moosdijk, a couple of rounds ago, not saying he was out of the championship, but he had a mountain to climb, and all of a sudden, good couple of rounds recently. He's got himself right back in the mix. Pulled a whole shot here today. Pretty much. He's led from the first lap. But that 2.4 second advantage now starting to look a little bit frail. And once again, Albi Ferrato closing in on Rubini here for 2nd. Ferrato can see Van der Moosdijk just starting to pull clear. Oh, launches it long and face plants the handlebars. You just saw from the way that he hit the jump there in the background, you thought, well, that's not going to end nice. He just outbroke himself and landed on the flat, landed heavy. Hasn't deterred him though, has it? Can't have too much rattling around between the ears. Coming back for more. Right, we'll go again then, shall we, Albi? 2.1, the gap between 1st and 2nd. About 1.1 is Ferrato, watch this. So, almost jumped into next week. Look at this, just flat lands it. Saves it though. Not quite as, what's the word I'm looking for? Not quite as flamboyant was the word as Eli Tomac from the Motocross of Nations here. Of course, he was winding down windows and all sorts as he flew through the air, but same jump, same racetrack. Another slight bobble there for Ferrato, just pushing hard. Aaron van der Moosdijk getting caught over this side of the racetrack again, but he seems to be just a little bit more efficient over on the far side towards the finish line area. So we have Roman Mostijk. Oh, that's the first mistake we've seen from the Dutchman, and that has allowed Rubini to get right onto the rear wheel of the Kawasaki Ace. And Albi Ferrato is right there, and then he throws it away. We're down to 2, or are we down to 2? Ferrato has shown us that he can do anything here. He's going for the win. He's made more than his mistakes, more than his fair share of mistakes. Watch this, he just comes in. What happens to the front or the back? Yeah, folds the front, the back disappears through the berm, comes around on him. And then number 2 for now. And Rubini getting alongside the 39. The race leader goes wide, loses ground there. So he's got close on one occasion. 9 minutes plus 2 laps to go. EMX 250, race 1. You see the riders just slightly different body language in the air there. The wind is blowing from their right as they hit that jump when they get airborne. 3/4 of a second as they hit the line. Ferrato is only 5 seconds down on him though. It's not a foregone conclusion because these two could start tripping each other up, and within a lap or two, Ferrato, there he is, could be all over the back of him in no time. Right, back at the front. Roman Mostijk, 57.2, Rubini, 55.8. That's why he's all over the back of the number 39. Made that one little mistake through here a lap ago that allowed Rubini half a chance. Nicely done there from the 39, the race leader, as he came into land there, just jumped, landed quickly onto the gas, jumped a little bit farther through the corner as well. So back with the leaders, 7 minutes 20 to go. Roman Mostijk back across the start straight here in Teushenthal. Rubini right on his rear wheel. Goes inside this time. Doesn't want to lose that ground that he did a lap ago. Doesn't look that big, that finish line jump, but it's the takeoff is lower down, so it's more of a step up. But you are getting some height, you're getting some distance as well. There you see the two leaders disappearing through that left-hander, that little step up. .6, so Ferrato not gaining any ground this time around. Having to deal with one of the back markers there. Number 67, Iago Martinez. Oh, and Rubini almost climbed onto the back of that Kawasaki, who was that close through that right-hander. Ferrato is closing, you know. These two are starting to trip themselves up. The pace has dropped. So Rubini has to go again. Over the monster hill. Here's Rubini. He goes the long way round, looks to carry a bit of momentum. Ruts are all nasty and chewed up. Back marker right between the first and second place guys. That's not what Rubini wants. He's going to get a face full of roost as he heads down the start, across the start straight. Is the back marker going to close him down at the end of the straight? I think he does. No, he moves to the outside. Right, and Mostijk, Rubini. 1.1 they were separated by a lap ago. It's 1.3. 5 minutes to go, plus 2 laps. Ferrato is gaining ground. He pulled a second on them this time around. 55.1, 55.3 for your top two, 54.1. He's only 3 seconds off of Rubini now. He'll be hoping that Rubini can't find a way past. Rowan van der Moosdijk gets himself back onto the rear wheel of the Frenchman. And a good recovery this, a good response from Rowan van der Moosdijk. A little bit of daylight between him and Rubini. Still battling here for 4th place, Jeremy Sido and Nick Lapucci. So the Diga Procross Husky and Steele's Dr. Jack KTM. 3 seconds further back there, still Thibaut Beneston on the Yamaha MJC Europe machine. So still not making any ground despite looking like it closed in. Again, back markers in between van der Moosdijk and Rubini. And that gap is opening up. Rubini is going to be in danger of being caught here by Ferrato. Nice line choice there for Rubini. Looked like it was the first time he'd used it. He might use it next time around. Back marker needs to pay attention. Keeps himself out of the way. Right, Ferrato. He was 3.2 off of the lead before. Comes into land, he's 5 seconds down. Rowan van der Moosdijk makes the fastest lap of the race, though, but this is earlier on in the race with Alberto Ferrato, when he was giving chase to Rubini. Then he overjumped, understatement. He was checking his fuel levels. And then finally, he did run out of time. Tipped it over in the right before they crossed the start. He's still there in 3rd. So Rowan van der Moosdijk just turns it on in the final few laps here. A 1:53.7 goes quicker. The quickest lap we've seen all race. And he's managed to open up 2.2 seconds over Rubini. Well, that's what it was at the start of the lap. Back marker to the outside. The man on the inside is Ferrato. And Rubini has got second wind as well. All of a sudden, the number 39, Rowan van der Moosdijk here, F&H Racing Team. If you look back now, we'll have an eyeful of Honda Red Motor Asamotor. Will he cut to the middle again like he did? Yeah, he's got that nice line there, good momentum. But also through there pretty quick was Rowan van der Moosdijk, but Rubini closing in. Minute and a half to go. So it's going to be 3 laps from here, from when they hit the line. Over the line for the 12th time. Rubini, a 53.9, a 55.4 for Rowan van der Moosdijk. Lapucci can't get his KTM fired up, so he's obviously tipped it over. But he's lost some positions because Sido now on his own in 4th. Beneston should be able to... or does he? Yeah, we're still waiting for Sido actually and those guys. But nothing in it between the top two. Look, here they are. Up onto the step-up. Both go tight to the inside. Rowan van der Moosdijk and Rubini. Sido 4, Beneston now 5, Gilbert now 6. Lapucci goes through in 7th. And a sneaky look up the inside from Rubini. Back markers in front of both of them. And that's the first time that Rowan van der Moosdijk has seen anybody else in front of him. Rubini makes the pass for the lead. And then Rowan van der Moosdijk gets squeezed by a back marker. So this will also do, excuse me, Ferrato a favour. in terms of the points that he could have lost to Roman Mosdijk, but of course he's going to lose 5 here to Rubini if he wins this one, but takes a look across towards the finish, or to those in pit lane, probably the former. Right, dropping downhill for the penultimate time. The new race leader, Stefan Rubini. Honda Red Motor Asamotor leads by 1.3 seconds. Can he hang on? 5 seconds behind Van der Mosdijk is Ferrato. Ferrato now almost resigns himself to the fact that these two, one of them is going to pick up the 25 points and the race win. Here's Ferrato. Championship leader before we arrived here. He will lose the championship lead because of his 3rd place here at the moment. He will move to 220. Well, he'll stay on 221, but Rubini will go to 226, and Van der Mosdijk will drop to 216. So has he got anything left in store for Rubini? Here's what happened. Squeeze between the back markers. Rubini had the better line on the exit, and then the entry into the next turn. He still leads the way here. Just over a lap to go. Good use of back markers as well. He looked over his shoulder. He knew that dropping downhill, the number 7 of Max Spies would get himself parked between the two. Van der Mosdijk wasn't close enough to do anything about it, but coming into the final lap then, Stefan Rubini drops downhill, takes the 1 lap board. That's over onto his right. But Roman van der Mosdijk was still 2/10 quicker. The gap is only 1.1. So Roman van der Mosdijk can either play this one of 2 ways. Red mist is coming down. I need those 3 extra points. I need that race win. Or does he go for second and avoid any kind of risk? Guess we'll soon find out. But the body language from Rubini would suggest that he's riding a little harder between the two of them. Rubini looking at picking up his 3rd race win of the season. He's hardly got time to blink. Back marker just takes Roman van der Mosdijk wider than he wanted to. He's got to try and recover this in the next half a dozen corners or so. Slightly tighter exit for that turn there for Rubini. Roman van der Mosdijk, has he just ran out of time? Rubini, probably the biggest gap that he's had all race. And Roman van der Mosdijk not able to do anything about it. He's still going to have one last lunge if he can at the end of this straight here though, but he's just too far back to do anything. 2 more corners to go. No time for celebrations past pit lane with the crew. But out of the final turn, Rubini drops downhill, takes his 3rd race win of the year on the Honda Red Motor Asamotor machine. Van der Mosdijk comes home second, 2.3 seconds behind in the end on the Frenchman. And then we'll wait for Albi Ferrato, but that means that Rubini goes back to the top of the championship. Now 226, Ferrato will be 221, so 5 points between those two. And then Roman van der Mosdijk, 5 behind Ferrato, but 10 now behind Rubini. Ferrato 3rd. We wait for Jeremy Sido on the Diga Procross Husqvarna. Sido goes through now, 42 seconds down on the leader. On the winner, Beniston next, 3 seconds further back in 5th. And then we have Gilbert 6, Lapucci 7, Rennehofer 8. And then we wait for 9 and 10, Adamo and Gifting. Adamo 9, Gifting 10, and then we should have Ravo Dankers. We'll do the full rundown in a moment, but Stefan Rubini timed his run to perfection, picked the pocket from Rowan van der Moosdijk, picked up the 25 points as well. Simea Ubak finding his way past Tommaso Israel Romano on the final lap, move himself up to 16th. Romano 17, Philip Olsen will cross the line 18, Marcel Stauffer, Mickey's lad 19, and Tim Edberg picking up the final point in 20th. So the riders head back to the pits, but we will already get to speak to Rubini any moment now because he has already gone through. So all quiet out here at the Talkessel circuit then. EMX 250, race 1 is in the books. Stefan Rubini, your winner. Rowan van der Moosdijk second. Alberto Ferrato third. Sido and Beniston your top 5. And then Josh Gilbert coming home in 6th place. Nick Lapucci 7th. René Hoffer in 8th in the end. Andrea Adamo and Isaac Gifting. And then we had Raivo Dankers, Bastian Bodam, Rick Elsinger, Jan Kudranski, Giuseppe Tropepi, Simeo Ubak up to 16th on the final lap. And he found his way past Tommaso Israel Romano. And Philip Olsen, Marcel Stauffer, Tim Edberg. We will speak to the winner shortly, don't worry. Although it would have been quicker if we'd have spoke to him at home in France, I think. See the skybox over in the background there, top of the start straight. That's where he's got to get to. More water going down, a little bit more track prep ahead of MX2 qualifying. Anyway, he's eventually made it. Here's Lisa Leyland with Rubini, your winner from race 1, a winner for the 3rd time.
Stefan Rubini, congratulations. A perfectly timed race, taking that lead in the final stages. You also have the red plate now.
Yeah, actually, I had a really good start. At the beginning of the race, I was a little bit stiff on the bike because it was a little bit wet, and then I take the rhythm, and I find the solution to pass Rowan, so it's a good race. Now a little bit rest, and tomorrow we will try to get the win.
Good luck for tomorrow. Thank you.
Yeah, good job to Honda Red Motor, Asa Motor, and Stefan Rubini, of course. Timed his run to the perfection, as we said a moment ago. Caught him napping and used the back markers to his advantage just to sneak by. 2.3 seconds clear in the end. He was victorious to take his 3rd race win of the season to add to the ones he picked up in France and Russia. He also takes the championship lead for now. Right, let's see the highlights then, shall we? Over on the far side, gate dropped, but it was Jan Kudranski from about 12 gates over who cruised around the outside, but just behind him and alongside him was Rubini getting into 2nd, Rowan van der Moosdijk 3rd, briefly. as Rubini looked to try and go to the lead here, but it was Van der Moosdijk who came out. A bubble there for Krajanski. A couple of riders going down. Bastien Baudin was one of them, and I think Giuseppe Tropepi, the 303 of Ferrato, quickly got himself into third with that move on Jeremy Sido. The two championship leaders, who were tied on points coming into race one, found themselves second and third behind the guy in third in the championship, 7 points further back. Rowan Van der Moosdijk as Nick Lapucci and Jeremy Sido battled over fourth place. Everything started to close up, though. Eventually, after a couple of mistakes, Ferrato went down, and then it was a two-way battle. Van der Moosdijk continued to lead Rubini, though. Sido doing a good job of holding off Lapucci in fourth. Place further back was Thibaut Beniston in sixth. Lapucci then fell, picked himself up, lost a couple of positions, came home in seventh. And this was the moment of the race, just over 2 laps to go. Back markers on the horizon. Rubini dealt with them a little bit better, more efficiently. Found his way past to take the lead. Ferrato sat back in the end to take third. But it was Stefan Rubini on the Honda Red Motor Asamotor machine who took the win in EMX 250 race 1. Right, a little bit of track prep. Go to the best moments, and when we come back, it will be with MX2 qualifying race. See you in a moment.